So what got you into anime?
Anime, man, since I was a kid, I was always into cartoons. And my uncle Benji, he brought home Ninja Scroll. So me and my brother, we're like, yo, what is this? We ain't never seen nothing so violent. So we like, yo, this shit's fire. So from there, Dragon Ball Z dropped. Rest in peace to Rika Toriyama, of course, the GOAT. And Dragon Ball Z just took everything to the next level. It was like, yo, this is crazy. So after that, we just was like anime fanatics, man. Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Inuyasha, anything, any Avatar, let's say Airbender, whatever, any anime we could find, we just was consuming it. And from there, you know, anime just was, the storytelling was just so much more, I think, relatable. And then the messages in the stories were just something that kind of grabs you more than like the traditional black and white stories from like Marvel or DC. So really, it just was the in-depth storytelling along with like the cool action. So
what's your so what got you into making a manga?
This all childhood dream. Like I always wanted I used to sit in class when I was in like elementary school, and I used to just daydream. I couldn't concentrate at all, and I would just be in my head. It'd just be different stories of like the stuff I would just be seeing, like cartoons and all that. So because of that, I always just had an overactive imagination. I always wanted to create stuff. And then also when I seen that you know, black folks were never really represented the right way in these actual art forms, I was like, well, that just leaves a lane open for me because I already want to do it and I'll represent it the right way. So it was kind of like a childhood dream, but also a mission and making sure that we get represented the right way.
Okay. Let me think. I gotta be on my Vlad type.
No criminal questions.
Oh no, I ain't gonna get you indicted. No, you good.
You'll be indicted.
Was there? That's probably the. Was there any pushback? A lot of people like. I won't say like put like. Let me change.
I got you.
Let me change that up.
It's a good question.
When getting support, was there any pushback?
About to cook some niggas. All right.
From creating your own manga?
Yeah, man. I mean, first, all right, so, you know, there's a good book everybody should read. It's called The Black Tax by Sean Rochester. He talks about how just being black comes with a tax in America and just really around the world. So I would say out the gate, there was a lot of support, but I had a lot of people who were going out of their way. They're just trying to hate on me and just say things to try to disparage me or discourage me for what I was doing. But the support I was getting was overwhelming. So any pushback from folks, which I would say majority of the pushback came from, you know, other black people, which is weird. But I mean, but then again,
I was about to ask that, but I didn't want to go too in depth with it.
Yeah. But then again, no. But as my man's pointed out, bro, you know, in the blurred community, black nerd community, there's subsections. You got pro blurred, they support black nerds. The black coon, them niggas is cooning, and the black incels. And you know, that's just the three groups we got, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But, you know, sadly, it seems like the cooning and the incel guys are kind of taking over more because...
Really?
I mean, the way I see it is, if you got all these independent creators who have great IPs, and there's so-called hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of blurs, and they're putting their stuff out there, why aren't they doing the numbers that you may see some of the other folks in other communities that are doing? You know, and they don't even have, the artwork's the same, you know what I'm saying, there's no difference, so why is it they get that support, but, you know, folks in our community, we get like the bare minimum. If you look at Kickstarter numbers, it's usually just maybe 100 more, but if you look at some of these other communities, these guys are doing, you know, 500, 600, 700 more. You telling me 700 blurs don't exist? You know what I mean, that are really back, come on, like.
Is it, let me be careful again with this question. Is it those that say, let me use an example. Now you jump in, correct me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just say nah, that's not true.
Yeah.
Is it those that be blurred that just talk a good talk, but they really don't? They really want somebody that don't look like you to do it. You know what I'm? Not look like you to do it, but like they want somebody else that don't look like me or you to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, my theory is that it's just, you know, slave plantation mentality. That, you know, some of these folks are just still stuck on that plantation. And, you know, it's Malcolm X, but he talked about how black leaders had a lack of imagination, and how, you know, that lack of imagination puts them in a place where they only believe and they only pattern their footsteps after what the power structure is telling them to do. So, you know, if you're trapped in that having a lack of imagination, whenever you see somebody doing something that you never thought was possible, you're still in that mental cage. So you really don't want them to sell, because then that's going to shatter your reality. You may start to think about what are you doing with yourself in your life. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just how I look at it from a psychological, emotional, maybe spiritual standpoint. I can't get in the mind of other folks, but I do know that the history of this country and the byproducts of what's going on plays a part in every facet of society, even with comic books. So.
Okay. Now, going back to your manga. Now you got 3 main characters, right?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of like when you're in that creative zone, that workspace.
Yeah.
Was there characters that you originally wanted to be in the book, but you end up saying, nah, that ain't gonna work?
Wanted to be in a book, but I said not gonna work. Nah, man. I think every character that I created is in some way, shape, or form is in there. I don't think any creator. I didn't take any characters out.
Okay.
Everybody I created is in a book. Yeah.
Cause I know a lot of people don't ask that. Cause I know I'm thinking like, damn, like.
It's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, cause I thought of the reason I thought of that because I'm like, I know you got 3. I'm like, was there characters that got cut? That's probably like, nah, it ain't gonna work.
Nah, that was never. I mean, I think I changed names around definitely, and I changed people roles around, but nah, I didn't cut any characters at all.
Okay. So where can people check you out at?
Hey man, check me out Instagram K_O_Abyss. Yeah man, just follow me on Instagram, man. Follow the journey, man. Appreciate y'all.
Okay.